is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today we're continuing 30 clubs in 30 days. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves, who just made a huge re-signing. They are bringing back Marcell freaking Ozuna, one of their key contributors in 2020, one of the biggest free agents on the market, and he will be back on a 4-year deal worth $64 million with a 5th-year option worth $16 million. He hit .338 with 18 home runs and only 228 at-bats, playing in all 60 games last season, led the league in total bases, tore it up in the postseason as well. It's easy to see why the Braves want to bring back Ozuna, even if there's no DH in 2021, and that is a big point right there. Obviously, his defense a little bit of a liability, but I think when you take into account that bat, the Braves say, oh well, let's get this guy. You know, maybe we'll have a DH. Maybe the DH will be adopted soon before this contract runs out. Who cares? Let's just get this guy. We need him in that lineup. And it's not like he's never played the outfield. He played a little bit last year. He used to be with the Marlins. He's not the greatest, but yes, he can handle it well enough when you have that bat. He is also huge for protection, hitting after Freddie Freeman, making sure that no one's going to pitch around Freeman. If you do, go ahead, put him on base, see what happens. This is so huge for the Braves, and their outfield, other than Acuna Jr., was kind of like questionable. Weren't really sure how strong that outfield was going to be. You know, they have some good prospects, Pache and everything like that, but kind of questionable, you know. Boom, now you got Acuna in center field. Now you got Ozuna in left, assuming there's no DH. So all you got to figure out is right field, and we're going to get to all that when we get to the lineup right here. Obviously, Ender Inciarte is still there, and you know, Pache and other prospects. But right now, hey, you just needed to ensure that you had Ozuna back. They did it, and that is absolutely massive. And they also have made a few other signings, including Charlie Morton and solid starter Drew Smyly, to make sure that they don't have the same issues in that rotation as they did last year. They want to make it a little bit deeper. I mean, they have a great rotation. They had one last year as well, but obviously injury issues and things like that has kind of messed everything up. But they have a very deep rotation now with Morton and Smyly. Josh Tomlin has also re-signed, and he can start a few games here and there. Also very nice out of the bullpen. Also, switch hitter Abraham Almonte, former Padre, was signed to a non-guaranteed big league deal. He'll have a chance to make the team in spring training, while familiar names like Carl Edwards Jr. used to be a really good reliever for the Cubs. Eri Adrianza, Pablo Sandoval, former Giants, obviously, all of them were signed on minor league deals, will be in spring training with a chance to make the team. So pretty active offseason. I don't think it's over yet. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, that I think the Braves might want to sign a few more guys. But as of now, let's just talk about what it's looking like as of right now. Now, obviously, we start with that lineup. And there are threats everywhere, and it starts with Ronald Acuna Jr., who does not get enough credit for his high walk rate. He has excellent patience at the plate. He waits for his pitch, and then he crushes it. 14 bombs last season, great speed, and he's just 23. He could be on the verge of an insane 2021. And then Dansby Swanson, another great all-around talent who showed improvement in his power, batting average, and he's starting to lay off those low and away breaking pitches that used to destroy him constantly. He's getting better at that. Kind of like Matt Williams. Matt Williams just swinging at everything in his early career. He finally figured it out, and he became an absolute beast. That could happen here with Dansby Swanson. And then you got Freddie Freeman, simply one of the best in the game, the reigning MVP. He's over 30, but he doesn't look to be slowing down, and I think he's going to continue to rake like this for at least a few more years, giving Atlanta a nice window to win a World Series while he is at his best. And then, of course, Ozuna, a huge signing right here. And the Braves, they obviously realize his importance. They want to make another run. They want to win a World Series. They need him. Despite the uncertainty of the DH, they really want Ozuna in that lineup, and they're going to have him. And then you got Travis d'Arnaud. He had a great year offensively and behind the dish. I don't know that he'll be able to repeat that offensive performance, because his 2020 batting average was 68 points higher than his career average. But even so, he's going to hit the ball hard. He had a 93.4 exit velocity, 6th in all of baseball, and he's going to continue to be great behind the plate. Then at second base, you got Ozzy Albies. He hit .271, 6 home runs and 118 at-bats. He's got power. He's got 24, 25 home run power. He could benefit from being a little more selective at the plate. He only walked 5 times last year, but other than that, I mean, we're talking about an all-star, silver slugger. He's only 24. And then Austin Riley, the super streaky one, at third base, and his struggles have been well documented. He strikes out too much. He chases bad pitches. Got a little hole in his swing, or a big hole. He's inconsistent. He's a liability defensively. But all that said, he has crazy power, and if you hang a pitch, he will absolutely demolish it, which we saw in the playoffs. He just needs to put some things together. He's still young. He is still developing. Don't know how much patience the Braves will have with him, but right now I think he's their best option there. Ender Inciarte could be next. He has a great glove, but he only hit 190 last year. I think he's more of a fourth outfielder. Christian Pache, I mentioned earlier, might get the starting job, or maybe the Braves are still in the market. Remember, they tried to sign Puig last year until Puig got COVID-19 or got tested positive for it, and so they decided not to, but you know, they could be in the market for another outfielder still, and they still have some youngsters on the way. So that's where the Braves are at right now with that lineup, and like I said, I don't think they're done yet, but as of right now, that is an impressive lineup, especially the first 2/3 of the lineup. I mean, it's absolutely killer. It does start to slow down a little bit at the end, and there are some question marks like I talked about with Austin Riley. Ender Inciarte is not the best hitter, but he's great defensively, so you got to take that into account. And they have some good youngsters on the way. But overall, this lineup is very strong. And anytime you have a lineup with that middle of the order with guys like Acuna Jr., Swanson, Freeman, Ozuna, Travis Darneau, Ozzy Albies, I mean, that is a lot of power, a lot of great hitting right there. And I'm going to give this lineup an A-. Now to the rotation, and the Braves always have been known for their pitching. I mean, their rotation is just amazing, and it still is right now and last year, except for it was actually kind of disastrous for the rotation just because of injuries and things like that, and they had to use a ton of different starters last season. Nevertheless, though, you just look at this rotation, it's deep and it's solid. In fact, it looks amazing. I mean, let's be real. Max Fried right there at the top. 3.3% barrel rate last year. It is almost impossible to make hard contact off his mix of 3+ pitches. And in addition to his perfect 7-0 record, 2.25 ERA, he won a freaking Gold Glove. And Soroka, who might not be ready for opening day after his Achilles injury, this dude is a first-round pick, 23 years old. He was absolutely electric last time we saw him. He is going to be electric again. He's going to be huge for that rotation when he's ready. Ian Anderson, a strikeout machine. He's got a killer fastball changeup combo. Batters hit 104 against his changeup last season. And then Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton is someone who's 37 years old. He's had shoulder issues. I'm a little concerned about him. I don't know if he's going to last the whole season and really be solid. I just don't know. But the last time he was healthy for a full season was in 2019, and he was 16-6 and ended up third in the Cy Young voting. I mean, he's going to be a solid veteran presence, and if he can stay healthy, he's someone you want in there, no doubt about that. And, you know, best case scenario, he pitches close to like he did in 2019. Worst case, maybe he falls apart and he's just not helpful at all. But you know what? I think you'd rather have him there as an option than not. It's good depth and things like that. I mean, it's Charlie Morton. You got Charlie Morton. I mean, you can't complain about that. I'm just not so sure about what kind of season he's going to have. But, you know, knowing Charlie Morton, I don't think he's going to come back and try to play if his arm is about to fall off. So I think that he does have something to offer. Then at the back end of that rotation could be either Drew Smyly or Kyle Wright as of now. Drew Smyly was impressive last year for the Giants. Last season, he struck out 42-26. I mean, that is nuts. He showed better velocity, better spin rate than he had in the past, and he earned a $12 million contract from the Braves. I don't know what to expect from Smyly. I really don't. When the Giants signed him last offseason, I was like, Drew Smyly, really? Now I'm like, that was a great signing, and I wish he was still here. Kyle Wright was a first-round pick in 2017. He was 11-4 in AAA in 2019 with a 4.17 ERA, 9.3 strikeout rate. He hasn't shown that in the big leagues, but he hasn't had a really huge opportunity, and I think the Braves realize that they need to give him a few more opportunities, you know, before they give up on this guy. Bryce Wilson, another guy who might get an opportunity. He was impressive. He pitched against the Dodgers and held them to 1 run over 6 innings in the playoffs. The Dodgers. So, yeah, this guy, you know, I know it's just one game, but Bryce Wilson, obviously very talented as well. He could be in the bullpen, but he could also be a spot starter or even a 5th guy in the rotation if needed. And that's the thing about it. The Braves need more starters at their disposal. They've done so. They've done what they had to do that. They might even sign more guys. They are deep. They have great pitchers here, great names right here, and hopefully everyone's healthy. It's all about health here. But with names like Fried, Soroka, Anderson, Charlie Morton, I mean, this should be one of the better rotations in baseball. And that is a really impressive rotation right there. And, you know, Drew Smyly was insane with the strikeouts with the Giants last year and a couple of good youngsters I talked about. So all in all, I'm going to give this rotation an A. Moving on to the bullpen, and this bullpen unfortunately is missing some key arms from last year who are now free agents. Talking about Mark Melancon and Shane Green, Darneau. There are some names that are missing. And, yeah, there's Chris Martin. He showed some dominance last season, no doubt about it. He's got a great sinker-slider combo. But there's an issue. He's 35 years old. He's injury prone. I'm a little worried about it. Will Smith, obviously he's been awesome in the past. He was a closer for the Giants, but his slider doesn't seem to have that bite that it used to. He's given up home runs lately. I don't know about Will Smith. I'm just not sure about this bullpen. Now, A.J. Minter is a guy, he's going to be huge for the Braves because he was disgusting last year. That could be a huge saving grace for this bullpen. He's got a great cutter, high spin fastball. In over 21 innings last season, he just allowed 2 earned runs. He has closer material. And then you got Grant Dayton. He is awesome against lefties, not so much against righties, which is nice, but the 3-batter minimum crap rule makes him a little less valuable. So Braves fans, thank Rob Manfred for that nice rule that just made Grant Dayton much less valuable. Thank you, Rob, you stupid mother. All in all, the Braves bullpen is okay, but certainly could use a few more reliable arms. I think that they should prioritize either re-signing Melancon, Green, or O'Day, or signing someone else. Unfortunately, most of the best relievers are already signed, like Brad Hand and a whole bunch of others. They've already signed. So there's a few out there, and I think the Braves might want to go ahead and tap into that if they don't want to re-sign one of those guys I just mentioned. So all that said, you never know. They got young arms too. Jacob Webb, Jeremy Walker's still there in the system, so they have arms who could help. But right now, I am questioning this bullpen. I'm worried about this bullpen, and I can't give it a great grade, but I'm not going to give it a terrible grade or anything like that because there are arms here. And, I have to give Will Smith his due respect. I have to give these guys their due respect. Chris Martin, I'm just concerned. I'm going to give this bullpen a B-. So there you have it for the Atlanta Braves. A fantastic lineup, a great-looking rotation, and that lineup's going to be helped enormously by bringing back Marcell Ozuna. And, yeah, love it. I love it. The bullpen is a bit of a concern. But if Chris Martin and Will Smith pitch well and some of those other guys, maybe I'm worrying for nothing. Maybe I'm worrying for nothing for the Braves fans. I mean, I'm not a Braves fan, but I would be worried if I was a Braves fan about that bullpen. But as a complete unit, this is a great-looking team. They're going to compete for another National League East championship. Obviously, there's a lot of teams to look out for. The Phillies, the Mets, the Nats. If the Phillies bullpen is good, they could be really good. And the Marlins were only second place last year. So you got to look out. But as a full team, obviously the Braves, they're doing what they got to do. They're not done yet as of now because I got to get these previews in because once spring training starts, I'm not going to have time. But as of now, I'm going to give this Atlanta Braves baseball team a B+ as an entire team. So thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the preview. If you're a Braves fan, please hit that subscribe button. Even if you're not a Braves fan, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoy the rest of the videos. Check out my channel. Check out HummBabyBaseball.com. All these previews are there in print, so you can read them and give me your thoughts there. There's comment sections there as well in those articles. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you later.
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.